Some opener here for you. I've had this discussion, this thought here for the last few days. And this isn't to say that I'm anti
Oh my God.
anything.
What a preface.
I already hate where this is going.
Yeah.
Helen Keller is an American treasure, obviously. We all learned about her in school, elementary, most of us. But riddle me this. She wrote 12 books. She was deaf and blind by age, I think it was 19 months. She wrote 12 books, and she learned how to do everything. So she was a year and a half old, and she was able to be a fully functioning adult. How? How? Can someone give me? I read up all about Anne Sullivan, the person who helped do all of this. She learned what water is from having her hand underneath water, and Anne Sullivan drawing the word water, W-A-T-E-R, on her hand. How does she know what water is?
Okay, so I feel like all of my knowledge and information surrounding Helen Keller actually came by the form of jokes throughout elementary and middle school. Not
100%.
so much like the legitimate American history section in any sort of book or anything like that. So anything that I know about her, I don't know, could be flimsy AF anyway. But I do think that you have a fair skepticism. Maybe she was just insanely talented.
Okay,
had a knack.
that's a great
also
point. Maybe she's an absolute
just
genius.
pure human will.
Maybe
Also true.
maybe she's a superhero that unfortunately got reverse superpowers and then learned her superpowers were to know everything.
I love how this is how you decided to open this show today.
But come on, how does she know what anything is? How does she know what?
Okay, well,
what
what else
another
was she
human
doing
is?
with her life? I mean, I'm
Nothing.
sure
She
most
had
of her
nothing to
time
do.
was dedicated to, trying to make some sort of
But how?
connection
How?
between
How
whatever it was that she was sensing.
I took 3 years of Spanish, and I can't even say a sentence. And she learned.
I mean, that's not
She
saying
learned
much,
the
Justin.
world. You're right.
That's
But
not
she,
an apt comparison in the
she was able to
slightest.
write 12 books.
Maybe they weren't legible.
No, they are legible. That's the craziest part. Have
maybe
you ever
there
read
was-
her diary?
You got to think, though, too.
I-
That was a rough joke. Oh, man. I don't even remember what I was going to
Come on.
say there.
Oh, come on. That's not the worst thing that's been said.
That's true.
But honestly, if someone anywhere in the world can be honestly truthful with me and tell me how Anne Frank did this, I'm happy to listen. But everything I've
Anne Frank, huh? How Anne
sorry,
Frank
we were
did
just
it.
talking about Anne Frank and that joke I made. How Helen Keller did
Another
what she-
American hero.
another American hero. If anybody, I am more than happy to hear. It's super impressive. I'm not taking. I just want to know how.
Well, she also probably wasn't by herself when she was writing these. I'm sure she had some kind of assistance
Right.
Why do you assume that?
to
Well,
at least
I don't think she
help
needed
translate
assistance.
potentially.
I don't think she needed assistance. I think she's a mad scientist or something.
There you go.
Well, obviously you don't because you're looking for rational explanations.
Yeah,
So
I would
the
like
fact
I
that
would
she had
like a
assistance
rational
would actually
explanation.
make-
You're 100% right. That's
Okay,
all
then
I
an
need.
assistant or maybe a teacher or an instructional
Or her
provider
aunt.
would be.
I've never
something-
had a teacher in all of my life who could help Helen Keller do what she did.
Okay, that is neither here nor there.
Or
Just saying.
maybe you have,
I've never found a teacher
and
that
they were
impressive.
just like, this guy's a lost cause.
Or they're like, I don't really need to try that hard because of the fact that your eyes seemingly work.
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
Hey, yeah. I don't know. If anybody, that's all I ask. I just want someone to tell me how it works. Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's a fair ask. That's all I'm at. That's
Okay.
all I
I love
ask.
how this is how you decided to open the sports-based show.
Hey, we've
Feels
talked.
good.
We've talked about aliens. We've talked about.
Aliens do be crazy.
Yeah, you never know.
Doobie.
Doobie doo.
Yeah, that Zimbabwe thing from back in the day, you know, where all the kids at like an elementary school and all the teachers in Zimbabwe and a UFO landed and they all recant the same story and the teachers were talking about how the aliens were like telepathically communicating with them and then they had all the kids draw illustrations of what they saw and they're kids, so to, I don't know, orchestrate a mass lie seems less than realistic.
You're talking about Coney?
No.
Oh, that was in 1994.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've never heard about that before.
I don't know
Okay,
what
so
you're
one
talking
of the guys that was at the school, he actually works for Barstool now. He's
Okay.
the short person. I don't know what you can
Wow, dude.
politically say
Wow.
about those
Also,
sorts of people.
it was 60 children.
Yeah, 60 children all said
Okay.
the same thing. They all drew the same pictures, and all the teachers also. Yeah, so they've done a documentary on it. I haven't seen this documentary, but I know. I think the guy's been on
That is
Joe Rogan, the guy
wild.
that's creating the documentary. I'm not sure, but anyway, so they're out there, man.
All right.
And if you say otherwise, then
You're wrong.
They
You're in
do
denial.
be out there.
Dude, you know who sucks? I just hope everybody's in agreement. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Whoa!
That guy is
Okay.
the worst.
Okay. I would agree that the problem I have with him is everybody looks at him like if you have a question, he'll answer it 100%. He's right.
Fauci. It's the Fauci
Same thing.
complex.
It's the Fauci effect.
No, but anyway, like hearing him in interviews and stuff and just the way he treats like other people in conversation.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's disgusting.
Okay.
And this man.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
I
okay,
don't
okay,
know.
okay.
Yeah,
know
he sucks.
who is the complete opposite of that is also a scientist?
T-Pain.
Bill Nye.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I don't know. Bill Nye has kind of gotten radical in the last. He's walking red carpets and stuff. I don't trust.
Don't you
Yeah,
dare
no, I don't
insult
trust
Bill
him.
Nye. Those are fighting words.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big Bill Nye guy anymore.
How dare you?
unfortunately.
I quit the show.
All right. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Windermere Services, Mountain West. They proudly service over 60 Windermere offices in Eastern Washington, Idaho, Eastern Oregon, and Montana. They are all in for their local communities. At Windermere Services Mountain West, relationships are the foundation of their business. Their mission is to be successful, team-oriented real estate professionals committed to exceeding expectations through exceptional customer service. They are Windermere. Windermere Services Mountain West is committed to the communities in which they live and work. They are all in for you.
Real quick, did you see Scotty's comment? Because that's actually kind of funny.
Also, shout out Lucky Bird.
Helen Keller, an alien. Yeah.
See,
Telepathically educated by aliens. Yeah. That is the most honestly, that is the most logical explanation I have heard yet. That's more logical than her like getting things drawn on her hand and she's like, "Oh, that's a sandwich." Like that just doesn't make any sense. It just makes no sense. Makes no sense.
How would
so
you draw a
hot in
sandwich?
here,
How would
dude.
you draw a sandwich? I need.
Bingo.
No, how would you draw a sandwich?
I don't know. I'm not smart enough.
Have you guys seen the most recent Arby's commercial with the French dips? And they're doing the spin off of the when I dip, you dip, we dip.
No.
Have you seen that? Yes. It's hilarious. I cried laughing. It was
I'll have
one
to
of the
look it
most
up.
genius commercials ever. Anyway.
All right. No Mariners that were number 75. Give me a Seahawks player number 75. There's two.
Really? Okay,
that
yeah.
matter.
So I didn't do any preparation for today. Had an interesting morning. But when you said at the top of the show that it was number 75.
You know, I'm gonna tell people how your morning went. Like not on the show, but like other people.
Oh, that's fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
I'm for sure going to be doing that. Sorry. go
Anyway,
ahead.
Ode Ibushi is the only one that jumps to mind, and I know that was Locklear 75?
He was.
Yeah,
Sean
okay.
Locklear, the best number 75 in Seahawks history.
And then wasn't there like a Chris Spencer or something? But maybe he was 65.
You're kind of close, but yes, he was 65.
Okay. So Ibushi, Locklear.
There's one more big because we drafted him in the first round. He became nobody from Alabama. He was technically a tackle, but he played guard and tackle for us.
Ifedi?
No. Good guess.
I was gonna say he was
You're close. You're in the right.
76.
You're in the right ballpark. He,
Oh.
he didn't become as good as Ifedi.
Oh, Carpenter.
Yeah, James Carpenter.
Yeah, but he ended up being
Yeah.
77. Like
Yeah, I
when we
think
won
so.
the Super Bowl and everything. So he was only 75 for like his rookie year, I think.
Potentially. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, he was 77. You can.
All right.
Write that down.
Those are our lower thirds. Those are really good. Those are awesome. I guess.
Okay. Mine sucks. Yours is great because it
You
doesn't
don't
make
like
sense.
Captain
You
Crunch?
know who Horatio Magellan Crunch is?
No.
Captain
That's Captain Crunch. That's his
real
full official name.
HMC. Okay.
Horatio
So
Magellan
we
Crunch.
have more people watching this show live than we have in a while, and it has to be because of our girl Helen Keller.
I was yeah. I was gonna say we
We're-
should just have more ludicrous openings like that. It should take us at least 20 minutes to get to sports.
It's taken us probably 10 minutes. We did
like
talk
it.
about Sean Locklear and James Carpenter.
We're doing great.
The one thing we should talk about, and only because it's so horrendous, is the Pro Bowl. Did you watch any of it?
So I watched the whatever it was, ESPN's Sunday countdown leading up to it, and that was mildly entertaining for nothing going on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And then the game started, and I forgot how ridiculous it is that we even played the game. So then I turned it off. So no, I watched the first drive, and I was like, I'm done.
I missed the first couple drives.
I think it was until Kyler threw a pick, which is on the second.
which is really
second
normal to
pass.
see. It's like, wait, this is
Dude,
the
I
regular
hate
season?
that guy. I've turned on that guy so quickly. Not that I was ever a huge fan, but he's like the James Harden or
brutal.
the Ben Simmons of the NFL.
Oh,
and the
he's-
way that he quits on his team and just his body language.
Oh,
and
it's
now
horrible.
he's doing this thing where
Scrubbing
he's like,
his social media
of all
Cardinals.
Arizona stuff, as
Yeah.
if Arizona's done anything wrong to him.
Right.
And
If anything, they've done a lot.
Yeah,
Signing, J.J. Watt, trading for DeAndre Hopkins. Like, they've done a lot
you're
to
like
support that team.
5'8".
Yeah, no one's scared
I
of
mean,
you.
his short man complex is coming through, and usually, I mean, that's not really a thing with football players, or at least within the sport, in the realm, in the world of football, because they are awesome at what they do, and because they're strong, and they make a lot of money. So usually, it doesn't really come into play. But my God, he just wears it on his forehead, and he sucks.
Brock Huard did a game of the Cardinals, not this season, but the previous season, and the announcers meet pregame or before the games, and they interview different players, coaches, just to get a good feel of the game. So he talked with Kyler Murray for a good amount of time, sat down with him, and after the game, Huard, or during the game, whatever, was talking about Kyler's issues with kind of that complex of him against the world and moody, and Huard's like, I've talked with other people in the organization throughout the NFL who has backed that up. Kyler was asked about it, and Kyler was like, who again? And it's like, Huard just was like, I talked to you like 2 days ago. Like, you know exactly who I am. But it's that exact mindset. Like, I'm too cool to recognize this former, guy who failed in the NFL, who's now an announcer. But it is surprising to see the NFL become very NBA-like in this regard. And it's quarterbacks who are fueling it, but it's every player can do it. But there's
quarterbacks, wide receivers, and corners
are
in
the
particular.
really
right
bad ones.
now, I'm sure it'll bleed down into the other
skill positions.
Right.
It's the people who think that they're better than the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman.
Le'Veon Bell back like 4 years ago. I was thinking about that in bed the other night while I was trying to fall asleep. I was like, dude, that guy ruined his career for no reason.
Yeah.
He
was top 3 running back, making a ton of money on a very successful
very good
Steelers
team.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. And now, and you saw it in the Pro Bowl. I mean, you get this, and to go back to it, the Pro Bowl is just so – well, no, I like the Kyler discussion because I think it's very important. It's very interesting and very impactful to the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Even though Kyler has another year on his contract plus a fifth-year option the Cardinals could utilize. So, I mean, he's not going anywhere. There's no way that they're going to trade him. I'd be shocked.
Well, did you see that he also wants $50 to $55 million?
Right, he wants to be the guy, and it's like, you're not the guy.
You're not the guy, pal.
No, you're not at all. And he's in that. He's playing himself into the Baker Mayfield role.
Yeah,
where the Cardinals are probably unsure what to do with him. Good enough that they'll keep him for 2 more years. Probably pick up his option, but after that, you're going to be in the same position that the Browns are in right now.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't draft Oklahoma quarterbacks. What do we think? Anybody?
Seems like
Sam Bradford.
Right.
Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. He's more Alabama than Oklahoma, but
right. That's a good point. I'd like to see a full-on list of that in the NFL because I'd be curious to see if that continues. Landry Jones, I guess. There's actually hasn't been really a ton until recently. Weird. The Pro Bowl, unwatchable. I watched up until halftime. After missing the first few drives, watched a few more after halftime. And the days of Sean Taylor blowing people up. At least Jason Taylor's a player.
That's true.
Blowing people up during the Pro Bowl is gone. And I don't know how you entice. I thought the game would get better in the second half. Like, we're going to make it like a closer game. Why? I don't understand why they don't just hit each other. What's wrong with just a body check?
I don't know. You know what the answers would be if you were posing this to the players.
Well, it's like, a lot of us have been off for a month and, we're still trying to recover from the season. That's fair. I get that. I don't get and I don't understand why all you have to do is just touch someone to, like, bring them down. Because, I don't know. It's very frustrating to watch, and they build up the Pro Bowl as this premier athletic event because it's the NFL. They build it up as this premier athletic event, and then every single year it disappoints people. And people are always like, God, this is horrible. Why do we watch? And then the same people watch every single year. That's why. Because they get great ratings. I don't think they're out yet, but I'm sure they're going to be just fine. For what they want. Again, it doesn't matter. The NFL doesn't care about the Pro Bowl. They probably care about preseason games more than they do the Pro Bowl. Also, it hasn't been good since they moved it from Hawaii.
That is very much true. Yeah.
That was one of the worst decisions they could have made. I don't know why they did that.
Also, but like honestly, even looking back at the Pro Bowls of yesteryear, they weren't that great at the time either. Obviously, in comparison to what we've had for however long you want to say, like the past 7-8 years.
Maybe the last decade.
They're a lot better, but even back then, it was still just like.
It's been a while. It's been probably a good 15 years since they were decent, I would say. Gianni brought up a good point. Same reason college players skip bowl games. They now have their own brand and associate monetary value with themselves.
I mean, it's true. Yeah.
They go to promote their brand and they promote themselves. And
well, and some of the quarterbacks try to do like recruiting as if it's like NBA All-Star weekend.
Well, that's
and
what Mike
stuff
Evans
like
was
that.
doing with Kyler Murray. I guess they were flirting pretty hard. Talking about the Bucks, which makes sense because Bucks have who is their starting quarterback right now? I don't know who
Trask
the backup is. I don't know who it is.
I don't know either.
That'll be a fascinating offseason story to see who the Bucks go after.
I either want Jameis Winston to go back or I want them to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
And that Jimmy Garoppolo appears very set on going potentially to the Bucks or the Steelers. I think would be two decent landing spots for him.
If he goes to the Bucks, Arians is out. I cannot imagine Bruce Arians dealing with Jimmy G and everything that he does on the field on Sundays and all
from him to Brady.
Yeah, I mean,
or Brady to him. Sorry.
Right. I think Jimmy's about as anti of
Arians' offense.
Yeah, as you could possibly find out there.
And even personally, as Arians, like Arians is a very fiery, passionate guy. I just don't get that vibe from Jimmy G. He's well liked, but he's not fiery and passionate.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I've seen moments from him that is like, okay.
Well, I mean, he has some moments, but I mean, compare it to Brady, compare it to Bruce Arians. Okay. I'm agreeing with your fact. I don't think he's a Bruce Arians quarterback.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think that's, except, I mean, Arians worked with like some of the pretty horrible quarterbacks in Arizona after Palmer, but
yeah.
Gianni said, is he even a decent QB?
Jimmy G-string?
Yeah, he's a below average. If I had to rate quarterbacks, he's between 15 and 20, I think.
He's got to have just about everything around him working, in tandem with him. I don't think he's definitely not a floor raiser. We know that for sure. He's always good for at least 2 to 4 hospital and or interception balls per game.
Yeah.
Anytime he scrambles out of the pocket, it's a disastrous play. He's really good over the middle of the field on time.
Right.
And that's why he was able to have the amount of success that he had and while he was with Kyle. I would say he's like 16 to 14 range.
Okay. I have him a little bit lower than that just because based off of his like winning potential. Granted, I mean, he did go to 2 NFC Championship games?
Yeah.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And he's won like 75% of his regular season games or something ridiculous. But again, the Niners have a really good roster, and they have consistently around Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
But I have him definitely 16 to 20, somewhere in that range, just based off of his winning. I think based off of pure skill, I think it might be a little bit lower than that because he's just not a competent quarterback in my mind. All right. Speaking of Super Bowls, we have one this weekend. Last time I checked, that halftime show is going to be sweet.
I hope so. It's just going to be a lot of like ad-libbing or just silencing for all the swearing, though, and I always hate that.
That's true. That's a good point. That is going to be a rough patch. They won't be swearing. I don't think they would be.
No, they're not going to be.
So I just am excited, and we have a talk about this here in a few minutes about prop bets. Well, let's do it now. Let's do it now because we're talking about the halftime show.
Okay.
We have a couple prop bets to go over.
Let's go.
All right. Results of the coin toss. Can we keep track of this? Can someone write this down? I'm just curious if we can.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
can do that. 1 second. Let me pull up a Word doc real quick.
Okay. This one will be easy to remember. Heads or tails? You're going to be a tails guy.
Yeah.
I'll be a heads guy.
Okay.
I got to go with Andrew. Tails never fails, baby.
All right. Connor, you're a part of this.
Oh, give me tails.
Oh, 3 tails,
we
1
got
heads.
3 tails.
All right.
You love to see it.
Yep. I'm out on an island, as usual, just like Darrelle Revis.
Nice.
Which he also might make an appearance on this show. How many commercials feature dogs? The over-under is 6.5.
Oh, wow.
That seems a little high.
Wow.
I don't know, dude.
I might have to take the under. I think it might be 5. I think it might be 6. I think it's 5 or
Feature
6.
dogs or like a dog is in a background?
I think it just says dog in the
dog.
commercial.
Okay.
And so
That's a
even
good
if
point.
it's like a dog in the background shot.
I think so. That's a good point. I'm still going to take the under.
I actually think I'd go under 2, but I would expect it to be like hovering right around 5 or 6.
That's a tough bet.
Yeah.
I'm going to say under.
I would go under as well.
I think, okay, if it's actually like strictly featuring a dog, like the dog is like the semi-main focus commercial, I would go under. I think if there's a dog in, it's over.
If dog in. Let's just say dog in.
Over.
So over, under.
Under.
Under. Okay, 2 overs, 2 unders.
Ooh, producers are split with the talent. You love to see it.
The thing that I hope for, and I know this is going to be incorrect, I hope the Super Bowl commercials don't suck again because they're all going to focus on causes, which is fine to have a few in there. But like, it felt like half of them last year were causes, and it's like you guys are all saying the same thing. I understand your point of view. It's like, give me something funny, give me more dogs.
This is just on topic strictly with just commercials.
Right.
You know what company I appreciate for saying, you know what, we're just making goofy commercials for life?
Mountain Dew.
Them too, but Red Bull. I like how
They
they
do,
stuck with that
me
weird
too.
cartoony thing.
Once it landed,
like,
and they just kept going
hits,
with it.
Yeah.
People love it. We're sticking with it.
Right. Budweiser was there. They got a little on edge like the last 2 years.
What are you talking about? Like the Clydesman?
You mean Clydesdales?
Dales, Clydesman.
Those are big horses, dude.
Oh, yeah, I saw them at the convention center a couple of years ago. They're massive creatures. All right, next one here. Does Snoop Dogg light up a joint? Yes or no? The favorite is no. The underdog is yes.
Because it's in California.
I have 2 thoughts. It's in California, but it's the NFL. Full of white, Southern, a lot, males. Very conservative.
I mean, Kawhi was just at SoFi a few weeks ago rolling up a blunt in like the
Kawhi?
VIP down on the, Leonard.
Right, but
I know, yeah, he
Snoop's
wasn't
under
like
contract. When I feel like that could easily be written in like, no, you will not get paid if you do this.
I'm going to say no. I think you're right.
I think no.
And so here's my thought. It's Snoop. If the only thing is he's not getting paid for it, I don't know if he cares.
That's fair. I could see him not caring about money. I could also see him caring very much about money.
This is
I
true.
don't know.
Then again,
Depends.
that dude does everything.
He does do everything.
Yeah.
I hate having him on UFC broadcasts.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
He's
I
horrible.
will. Yeah, I'll agree. He's not the best
He's
announcer.
horrible. Actually, he's horrible at a lot of things that he does. Whenever they put him in like in a camera, it's like this is not interesting, and it's annoying actually because he can barely speak, and I can barely understand him.
Yeah, I think we oversaturated the places and the events and gatherings in which he should be like prominently figured or hosting or whatever.
Definitely.
Mans is just straight getting the bag.
This is true.
You asked me this earlier.
Yeah.
I said I think he will. I think I've changed my mind. I don't think he will, although part of me wouldn't be surprised.
Connor, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna do it, but I want him to, really, really, really bad. So I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Ooh, we got one yes, baby.
All right, I like it. Drake curse. Essentially, whatever jersey or team apparel Drake wears, that team loses. What team is he gonna wear? And are they gonna lose? I guess that goes into our Super Bowl pick a little bit.
I
too.
think he's wearing Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think he's going to wear Cincinnati too.
Drake just feels like
I feel like he might wear Rams.
That one makes the most sense just because of the LA ties. Right. But
LA tie sounds like
Drake
a Drake
is
song.
always trying to Drake's always trying to get on
Not the bandwagon, but the bandwagon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think he's wearing a Cincinnati's jersey, and I think Cincinnati's winning.
Also, why are we assuming that he's going to be there? I mean, he's probably going to be there.
Drake.
But,
Oh, he'll probably post a photo. I'm sure there'll be a photo.
Okay. I bet he's not going to wear a jersey of either team.
You think? What? Okay.
If he's going to be wearing something, he's going to be like wearing Miami Heat.
It could be a custom specifically made for Drake jersey, though.
I don't know. Usually when he reps his stuff, he doesn't do like super corny shit like that.
That's true. That's true.
I say he wears Rams, and that curse comes true. Go Bengals.
See, I feel like if he does wear one or the other, it's going to be Bengals, and then the Bengals are screwed. Or Joe Burrow's the one person to defeat
break
the
it.
Drake curse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, I want Joe Shiesty to win. So I think it would Rams.
How do we feel about the nickname Joe Burr? I think it's bad.
Joe Burr?
Yeah.
Like ice?
Like Joe, yeah, BRRR, and because the first
It's
whatever.
soft. It's not
first
the worst nickname I've ever heard.
syllable of his name is Burr.
It feels uninspired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. It just doesn't feel great rolling off the tongue either. It almost sounds like you're getting punched in the stomach halfway through saying his name.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Cool.
Okay, what's your official pick? You don't think he wears anything?
I don't think he's going to wear Rams or Bengals
Okay,
attire.
and then what's your
Think
pick?
he's just rocking
We'll
a
get more into
Louis?
the picks, but what's your pick right now?
for the game.
Yeah. I just said Bengals.
It's really hard.
A lot of that has to do with I really just don't want the Rams.
I really don't want the Rams either. I see each path just as equally. Everything lines up for the Rams, but that's been the case for like 3 consecutive rounds for the Bengals. And when the Giants won both of their 2, and when the Packers won, in 2010 with Rodgers and were another wild card team, that was the case for them too. I'm going with the Bengals. God, we're gonna be so wrong.
Yeah, baby.
We're gonna be so wrong.
We have 4 Bengals.
No,
obviously,
dude.
don't get it twisted or confused. I absolutely want Cincinnati. There is not an ounce of my body that wants Los Angeles to do anything. Mostly, I just want Aaron Donald to lose.
Oh, I hate Aaron Donald
and
Jalen Ramsey.
He also doesn't get enough credit for being a dirty player for how many times he's literally put his hand around another man's throat.
Oh, it's happened like 5 times.
Yeah, no, just in Ndamukong Suh. Aaron Donald never at fault. No.
God, I hate Aaron Donald.
I do too. Yeah.
I hate. Yeah, we'll get into that more.
Cool.
Another one. Will a player leave the game due to a concussion? The favorite is no. I say yes, and I bet it's T. Higgins.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Why would you say that?
It's going to be a Bengals offensive player because the
That
Rams
was-
defense is dirty.
That was very much how this post didn't age well.
Yeah, seriously.
But am I wrong? It's going to be a
I'm
Cincinnati
going to
Bengals-
say no. No CTE on Super Bowl Sunday.
right.
Rodgers
I'm
got
also going
enough
no.
on his plate.
I don't think it'll happen. Yeah.
Okay, so you're guessing
yes.
You're predicting yes. You're also predicting a specific player.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, I changed my mind. Samji
Good pressure.
Perrine. Backup running back.
Samaji,
It's Maji
Ryan.
Ryan. Backup running back. Just because the Rams are a dirty team.
Or it could be Chris Evans, third string running back for the Bengals.
Could be.
Captain America,
It really much could be.
Buzz Lightyear.
There's 1 or 2 left.
Did you watch that trailer?
Yeah. It looks pretty good.
It looks surprisingly okay.
And I actually think Chris Evans was a great cast to have like a younger, non-Toy Story affiliated Buzz.
I would agree with that.
I mean, it works.
It weirdly does work.
Yeah.
So Gianni also said OBJ doesn't deserve a ring, and I agree.
This is totally true.
What company airs the first commercial after the coin toss? I'll give you the top 5 betting odd favorites. Bud Light, Budweiser, Coke, Hyundai, Skittles.
Hyundai.
What'd you say?
Coke.
Hyundai?
No, Coke's always like mid to mid-late.
I don't know. I have a feeling about Coke today.
Yeah, they always do.
They do
I
love
would say
cars.
Hyundai. Also, no, never mind. That's Kia. Never mind.
Kia is on here.
Kia.
Kia's, it goes, I'll give you all of them. Skittles, Mars/M&M's, Kia, and Field. I don't know what Field is. You want to know what Field is? All capital letters?
Just, I can look it up real quick.
That's not what I wanted. I don't know what Field is. So
Yeah, I'm going Hyundai.
my Hyundai? Okay. Cast iron? I don't think that's right. I don't know what Field is. I think something's wrong. I kind of want to say Doritos. I know they're not on the list. But I feel like the first ad spot. Oh, it's the first commercial after the coin toss, which is not the first ad spot, but arguably the largest. God. I'm going to say Doritos.
Okay.
Yeah, even though they're not on the list.
Okay.
I'd make a lot of money with a $5 bet there. At least $50.
Nope, it's going to be SoFi.
I would
It's gonna
say
be SoFi.
yes, but I don't think so because they already have so much exposure just being the stadium. I don't think.
Or
they need
could
more.
it be?
Yeah, you're right. They don't need more. But hey,
want
how much
more.
did they spend on that stadium? What are we talking about? We're
Five-
talking
probably
about LA
$5,000.
elites. What do you mean they don't
$5,000.
need more? Okay, that doesn't register with them.
Or could it be crypto.com?
It could
Yeah,
be. It
yeah.
could be. Do you know who's been doing a lot is Voyager. I've been seeing them
Yeah,
all over
yeah,
basketball,
that's
but
a
I
good
don't
call.
think they'll be the first one. It would not surprise me to see a lot of crypto
Okay.
commercials.
Changing to SoFi.
Okay. First song performed at the halftime show, and let's do artist. I don't want to do a specific song yet. We can just talk about that. But artist, who sings first? Is it gonna be Eminem? Are we all in agreement there?
Yeah.
You might not be. So you think Eminem's gonna open for sure?
I
He's the
think
headliner.
I think it's Eminem, but it wouldn't surprise me if Dre opens. I think it's either Dre or Eminem that opens the show.
Eminem.
I think it's going to be Dre that opens the show, rather. And
you
it's going to
think
be
Dre will open?
I think it's going to be California Love.
Really think they're a start with California Love.
It would make sense. I mean, just with the setting.
Sort of.
It was also, was it not in the promo video, like in the trailer
I
for the
don't know.
halftime show?
I don't remember. I think Eminem will open.
Really?
I do.
Wow. What would he open with?
Sam, what's your choice?
Hold on, real quick. I don't know if they would do California Love. I could see them doing it during the set. I don't know if they'd open with it because technically it's a Tupac song.
No, I understand that, but all of those people, I mean, except for like Kendrick and Eminem, are with. It's the same circle,
that's true,
the
that's
Tupac circle, the West Coast
That's
hip hop, 90s scene.
My thought was Eminem's opening the show with "Till I Collapse."
Interesting. I can't even imagine like which songs they're gonna choose of his because most
Specifically his, there's his and Dre. Honestly, his, Dre, Snoop, Mary J. Blige. There's a lot to pick from.
No, there are a ton.
And there's a lot of swearing.
And for Kendrick too. I mean,
for Kendrick, yeah.
Yeah, are they gonna do Good Kid, Mad City, or are they gonna do To Pimp a Butterfly kind of stuff? Or are they gonna do?
Which I'm fine with. I think it'll be really good.
I know.
Do you think it's gonna be good?
I think it's going to be better than most. However, I do personally, I'm not a big fan of when they do, like when the Black Eyed Peas, they had technical malfunctions all over the place.
That was
but
so,
any time there are a lot of swear words in the lyrics, and they have to, they either ad lib and change the lyric ever so slightly to make it, like now just, 30, or just completely just have a dead space. I don't like that, but I mean, it almost has to be by default, right?
I'm saying Eminem, and I'm going to go with the betting favorite, Lose Yourself.
I'd be surprised if you open.
See, that's
what
I said too.
Is going to open.
I thought Mary. I would not be surprised if the very first. I literally just looked it up because I couldn't remember the name of the
Connor,
song.
is Eminem opening?
Oh, I think Eminem's
Why is it? I don't understand what the rationale here is.
Isn't he like
Family
the
Affair?
headliner?
Family Affair. That was like her biggest song, but.
Oh right. I think Eminem's the headliner, isn't he? Technically?
No, there's no way. No, he was like the fourth guy listed.
Are we sure about that?
Dre? If it is Dre headlining, it wouldn't surprise me if they opened with "Forgot About Dre."
Y'all know me, still same OG, but I've been low key, hated on by chickens.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. I don't know what's going on. Now I'm not really positive.
I don't think Eminem's gonna open. That's all I know for sure.
He is, yeah. I don't know either. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Final. Yeah, we'll make this final. The final question: what color will be the Gatorade?
It's orange all the time,
Orange,
except for
clear,
when it's not.
/water, yellow, red, blue, purple, in that order.
I also saw or listened to something on a podcast that might not even be Gatorade. Might be an alternative sports drink. Whoa. I gotta go with orange. That's a betting favorite?
No, actually, red is.
Interesting. Okay, well,
it goes
Cincinnati.
Red, yellow /clear /water. Sorry, it goes red, yellow, and clear /water are both plus 300. Orange, blue, purple. So orange is third.
I'm going with orange.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I would agree with orange.
Seahawks were orange.
Orange. If it's the Bengals. If it's the
Oh.
Rams, I think it's gonna be red.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with blue.
Okay.
I don't love that pick, but
Just blue in general.
yeah, any shade.
If
of
it were
I would.
blue against the Cincinnati uniforms, that would look sick.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Don't
All
you
right.
grimace? I saw that.
Super Bowl, Bengals, and some of my rationale behind that, aside from the fact that a lot of signs point toward the Rams being really good. Obviously, we've watched it and having a very good chance at doing well. I think that the Bengals, the way they structure their defense, is very distractive, very frustrating to offenses. Look what they did against Brady and kind of that vertical style. I know he does a lot of short underneath stuff, but being able to cover that side of the field, and then also the other big thing
Against
is
Brady?
Sorry.
Mahomes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then secondly is the way that the defenses face Burrow. And both what the Rams do and what the Chiefs did as far as not pressuring him, I think could be very good for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because that's what I look at too. So if if you are the Rams and you are invested in the Rams winning, succeeding, whatever, fulfilling your bets, whatever, you hope that the Rams do not blitz because they're capable of getting home with 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. If they do blitz, I actually think the Bengals have a chance, even though their offensive line is abysmal. They have a pretty good screen game, and Joe Burrow is going to recognize what he's got in the box or what he doesn't have right away and hit, T. Higgins over the middle for 5 yards or dump it out to Chase, and let him get some yak. I don't want the Bengals to blitz Stafford at all. Stafford's been one of the best quarterbacks all year, as well as during the entirety of his career against the blitz. However, if you drop in coverage against him, that's when you see...
Which is what the Niners did.
Yep, and that's where you see him be shaky.
When you have 8 guys in coverage, because the Niners did that a lot. The Niners brought only 3 guys a lot.
Yeah.
And he did not look comfortable back there.
No.
And the Niners probably should have won that game in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
The Bengals have a really good shot, especially with their weapons on offense, because the Niners, for all that they had against the Rams, really their weapons are Kittle and Debo. Very good weapons. But you look at what the Bengals have. Jalen Ramsey, I guess, everything's been reading that he wants to shadow Jamar Chase. And that's fine. Let's just say he wipes out Jamar Chase. Is that a big problem?
He wants to. I'm not sure that that's actually going to be the case because there have been matchups, like in the game against the Bucs in the divisional round. He didn't start doing that until it was necessary, and it was the very end of the game.
Right.
So we'll see if that actually is the case. I'm not 100% sold that he will be shadowing him for the entirety of the game.
And I don't know if that's a great matchup for Jalen Ramsey either.
I don't think it is either. Like, I understand.
Jamar Chase is I know he's a rookie, and I know I usually pump the brakes on rookies, and I may have actually even pumped the brakes on Jamar Chase earlier this year. His combination of yard after the catch, I think, is what really is going to help because he doesn't, but he can also stretch it vertically. So Jalen Ramsey has to play this game where he has to be careful because if Jamar Chase catches a ball 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, that could be a touchdown.
Well, and the other aspect of Chase's game that's super impressive, especially as a rookie, is his physicality at the point of catch.
Physical, yeah.
He's really good in jump ball situations, and he gets away with offensive PI
he's really
all the time.
Really
but it's like a skill, the way in which he
he's
does
frustrating.
it.
I feel like this could be a game where if Jalen Ramsey does follow him, Jalen Ramsey's getting frustrated.
Pissed,
Yeah, and when Jalen Ramsey's, when his emotions kind of get a hold of him, I think is when he starts having problems.
Right. And I think the Rams are going to be super one-dimensional. I think they're going to be pass-heavy all game. I don't think they're going to run. And any one-dimensional. Also, you can run on the Rams. I know that the 49ers didn't in the conference championship, which was a huge surprise, and props to the Rams defense for containing that running attack. But I don't know. I think that the Bengals are going to be a little bit more patient with their run game. And we saw that against the Chiefs. They didn't have anything really going in the first half. They maybe had one run, and then things were able to bust open a little bit in the second half. And they've been a good running team all year. And Mixon has been one of the best backs in the league. Mm-hmm. So I hope that they get him involved, whether it's in the run game or, on bubbles and screens.
You have to get him involved.
Yeah.
Mixon is arguably your best offensive player, really. He's on.
Yeah.
I think he could be the most important guy on that offense. The other thing with the Bengals is they have, or actually I'm going to go with the Rams first. Can we trust Matthew Stafford? I don't think you can.
No.
He has shown throughout his entire career that he is not the guy. He has a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. That's because the Lions were so bad, and he's a gunslinger. Mm-hmm. But he's not the kind of gunslinger like Brett Favre was. He's not the kind of guy who he's behind center. You feel like you're going to win on a consistent basis, like Favre was. Because those two to me seem very similar because they take a lot of risks and they throw the ball whenever, wherever, no matter who's on coverage, no matter how many guys are in coverage. They want to throw it there. If they can get Matthew Stafford one-dimensional in wanting to throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, which is what he likes to do, that could be very problematic. Because we've seen throughout this entire season, when he starts focusing on Cooper Kupp, there's a lot of good plays that happen. They beat a lot of teams doing it that way. But it's also a tendency for Stafford to throw it in triple coverage toward Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a very large issue for the Rams to have to deal with, and something that throughout his entire career has never allowed me to trust Matthew Stafford at being the Super Bowl winning guy.
Well, and so even if you look at this year, obviously his first year with the Rams and away from Detroit, it was a coin toss almost every game with him. Obviously, they finished the back, whatever you want to say, third fourth of the season pretty strong going into the playoffs. But every game you don't know what you're going to get from him. Right. If he had been coming off a hot streak and played 2 consecutive very good games, that doesn't mean anything going into the game at hand.
Right.
And vice versa. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if Van Jefferson has a couple deep targets this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Odell is actually getting a lot more targets. Cup's going to get his targets. It's not as if he's going to be devoid of any action in this game.
As usual.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can really see. Basically, I think if the Rams win, I think they're going to win by like multiple possessions. I think it'll be maybe like a 10 or 14-point game.
If the Rams offense is on, they win by multiple possessions. If it's like normal, this is a really good game, and I think the Bengals have the tendency to be able to overcome a decent day on offense.
Okay, so you want to give me a score? We're both going Bengals, but
the thing with the Bengals, they've shown, again, like I just mentioned, the tendency to be able to come back no matter what sort of adversity they're facing. And so that makes me think that this could be a game where it feels like Rams most of the game, and the Bengals hang around the entire time, and then they win it, even on like a game-winning touchdown pass or something. So I could see them winning like 30-27. They're down 23-27, and they score a game-winning touchdown, win 30-27.
Okay. I think the majority of the Bengals.
Can we write that down? Okay.
Get IT on that. I think the Bengals are going to score a lot of field goals, maybe like 3. And I think it's going to be.
I
think it's going to be more of a slugfest, an uglier game, not an unentertaining game, but I think it's going to be like a 23-19.
Okay.
Because honestly, if you look at the Bengals, especially during the playoffs, I mean, field goals have been the name of the game, which was also the case for the 2013 Seahawks before they got to the Super Bowl. They were not good at converting in the red zone at all, and neither is this 2021 Bengals team. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, they have probably at this point in time the second best kicker in the league.
Right. Well, clutch. Probably.
Yeah, so anytime they get to like the 35-yard line, if they don't convert on the third down, they're going to kick it, and you got to imagine he's going to make that.
That plays into my prediction. I could see 3 field goals and 3 touchdowns by the Bengals. 9, 16, 23, 30.
Yeah.
I like it. I like my prediction. I'm very confident now.
Okay, I'm going 23-19.
23-19.
I'm not sure how you get to 19.
23-19. 23-19.
That could be the Rams going for it on a 2-point conversion.
And not getting it right. Or
safety at some point. Yeah, safety.
Yeah.
Get them in there. I could see that. I could with Johnny Hecker punting. I could see them getting backed up in a safety potentially. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't hate that as a prediction either.
Okay.
Bengals too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you guys give your both? We're all Bengals here. That's right. We are all Bengals. So, and what's super fascinating about these two teams, the other thing I want to talk about is actually here we have a comment here. Gianni said, unfortunately, they have OBJ on the Rams now, so that could open Cup a little bit more, or OBJ could gash them, and that's true. And we've seen that happen in some circumstances. I just don't know if OBJ and Stafford are in sync, and I don't know if they have been all year. There's never been a game where OBJ just goes off. I don't think.
I mean, he had 100+ yards in the championship game.
Yeah, he had a really good game last week.
But I mean, he's been a pretty good red zone target. Like he
has been. He's been a target. I just don't know if he is so much of a game-breaking talent at this point, either in his career or with the Rams.
I bet he drops at least one pass.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. I'd agree.
Thank you.
I very much agree. So to tie this, there's been a lot of talk on Seattle Sports Talk. Is essentially how Seattle should build their team moving forward. Do you like the approach of the Rams, where they beef up on their team with first-round draft picks by trading them all away and utilizing a lot of late-round draft picks to supplement their team? Or do you like the Bengals approach, where it's kind of a more normal, we're going to spend a lot of draft capital specifically on the offense, and then we're going to just spend like crazy on the defense? Both obviously have shown to work. They're both in the Super Bowl. Which one, it's a two-parter, which one's more sustainable, and which one would you like, you don't even have to say the Seahawks, which one would you like your team to utilize long-term?
Sorry, I missed the first part of that. Are you talking about the Rams' philosophy and the way that they've constructed the roster? Right. So I don't think that that's an applicable model for, I don't know, 85, 90% of the franchises in the NFL because it is LA. It has the allure. It's got the new stadium. It's up and coming, and they already had foundational pieces and two of the best players in the NFL that were homegrown, and Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp. And they've already been good for, several years now. So I'm not sure that any old franchise can just look at that model and be like, okay, yeah, sure, that's going to work for us, because there were already things in place that allowed them to do what they did. Right. So that's also part of the reason that I want them to lose and that I want it to fail, because I don't want this, because of the fact that it's a copycat league, I don't want to see this repeated because it's not going to succeed like it has for them. So the latter by default. I'm just I'm anti the approach. I do appreciate it and I respect it because it is it's new. It's intuitive, and I mean they have just been backloading their drafts with a bunch of picks, and they've been hitting on a lot of those picks. So kudos to them and what they've been able to do. But no,
okay, cool, nice. Let's do a little bit of NBA since today was the trade deadline.
Yeah,
a lot of cool moves.
Yeah, thanks for waiting until today.
We're gonna go down the list here. Just all sorts of moves. Nothing for the Lakers. The most recent one that happened was Dennis Schroeder being shipped out of Boston for your boy.
We got Tice back.
Got your boy Danny back.
We got the most disrespected player by the NFL or NBA referees.
Is that a good move for Boston?
It's fine. I mean,
it is what it is.
It's good for their center depth. I mean, he can relieve Horford minutes. He can relieve Robert Williams minutes. It'll probably be good for Robert Williams' health. Obviously, we know after Tice's departure that Robert Williams is the better player, has the higher ceiling. He's still growing, and he's got one of the best PERs in the league, and he's like third in blocks in the league, and he's just incredible lob threat. So as far as depth goes, it's fine, but it doesn't move the needle, in my opinion.
Right.
And they did get Derek White, who's got the worst hair in the NBA. They gave up Josh Richardson, which wasn't a big fan of that, but that was the other thing the Celtics did.
Yes. The other move here, Kristaps Porzingis being traded to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie. How is Porzingis doing this year? Actually,
he's been all right
because he was hurt. Got hurt last year.
He's been hurt every year, but he's been okay. I think this is probably the best year that he's had in Dallas.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's almost 20 points a game, 7 rebounds. Okay, so he has been actually playing pretty well.
Yeah, his percentages are bad though.
I could see that. I could see his efficiency not being very good.
Yeah. And anytime he gets in the post, he just does turnaround jumpers, and he just doesn't have that game.
Right.
He can't back anyone down. I mean, you could put Patrick Beverley on him, and you're still going to get the same shot out of him.
Right. So this kind of makes it interesting for the Wizards, because wasn't Holiday moved today too? Aaron Holiday?
Justin was...
I know
yesterday.
Holiday. Okay, so the Holiday was traded.
But it was the Pacers Holiday. Wait, what?
Yeah, Aaron Holiday was traded from the Wizards to the Suns.
Oh.
I don't know who that got traded for, but who's the primary ball handler for Washington now? They just lost Aaron Holiday and Spencer Dinwiddie. Raul Nato and Wanamaker.
Brad. Wanamaker.
Those are their only point guards on the roster left. Cassius Winston.
I didn't even know he was in the league. Oh my God.
So who's going to be their primary ball handler?
Probably Bradley Beal.
No, he's hurt.
Oh yeah, he's in for the season. Yeah. Huh. Good question.
They had to have made another trade. We haven't gotten to it yet. Let's keep going because
there are so many. I thought,
that doesn't make any sense at this point. But I think in a vacuum, I think that's a fine move. Dinwiddie's good. If someone wants to tell me, whoever's watching is a bigger NBA fan than me, who they got traded for, but I have no idea.
Dinwiddie's really not that good. He can put up numbers, but if you watch, he's not a winning player.
I think the analytics like him more than the stat guys do.
Aren't the stat and the analytics guys one and the same?
Sorry, the guys who look at the old school stats.
Okay.
And the eye test compared to the analytical nerd guys. I think the analytic guys like him more.
I'm not sure on that. I think anybody that likes hero ball and ball stopping likes him.
Montrezl Harrell got traded from the Wizards to Charlotte.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good for Charlotte. Who just got screwed again because Gordon Hayward's out.
Yeah.
And their record without Hayward over the past 2 seasons is really bad.
Yeah.
It's really good with him.
I didn't know Harrell's on there, so I don't know who they're getting in return at this point. James, well, we'll get to that one at the end. We'll get that one later as well. Josh Richardson from the Celtics to the Spurs for Derek White.
Yep.
Thoughts? Anything? Is that interesting?
I don't know.
I don't think that's that interesting, is it?
It's not super. I mean, we get a true-ish point guard now, but Josh Richardson was going to take over the ball handling responsibilities anyway because they shipped Dennis out.
You're right.
I don't know. We'll see.
They're saying he's a lot of similarities to Marcus Smart. When White is hitting a shot, he's a perfect player next to Tatum and Brown. He's a good playmaker who likes to play off the ball and can run pick and roll with poise and pace. Nifty floater. Celtics are now $3 million below the tax line.
Nifty floater. All right. I could go for a nifty floater.
Celtics are below the tax line now.
Yeah,
so that's
I know, because we got rid of PJ Dozier and Bol. So
yeah, that's nice. Bol. That's funny. Nets and Sixers play on March 10th. That'll be really fun for the trade that we're going to talk about in a second. Well, let's talk about it right now.
Okay.
Nets 76ers had the biggest trade. Actually the largest trade probably in a while, just based off of capital and everything getting moved. Nets traded James Harden to the Sixers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and 2 first-round draft picks, right? I think that's what it was. Harden gets out of Brooklyn, even though he wanted to go to Brooklyn last year. It was Brooklyn or the Sixers. He ended up picking Brooklyn. He got moved to Brooklyn. Now he gets to go to the 76ers. And Ben Simmons gets out of Philly. Appears to be on the surface a good trade for both players and a good trade for both teams in the grand scheme of things. Depending on which Ben Simmons they get. They get the Ben Simmons.
Depending on which James Harden they get. That's fair. Yep. It's almost a mirror reflection for both teams. I mean, on paper, if you're assuming that you're getting the best out of both major stars that were incorporated in the trade, then I think it's a win-win, right? But there are a lot of things that would go into assuming that. We gotta see it. I mean, Harden's got to get into shape. He's got to act like he cares. He should probably take his hair out of the twist because he's been awful ever since he went from the mohawk to the twist. Just so bad. I'm not convinced about the fit with he and Joel. And also, that kind of screws up Tyrese Maxey, who has been a really good player in his second year for the Sixers because he's really only good with the ball in his hands. He doesn't do anything off ball. So I don't know about the Sixers. I definitely think that Brooklyn, for sure, regardless of the volatility of Ben Simmons and what that becomes, I think they restocked. They got front court health with Andre Drummond. They got Seth Curry, who is a really good piece, really good role player, and a good shooter because obviously Joe Harris has been out for them almost the entire season.
Best Curry in the league.
Yeah, obviously. So I think Brooklyn for certain got the higher floor of the trade. Mm-hmm. I also think they probably had the higher ceiling. Yeah, actually. Too, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know how much the Morey and Harden relationship
is going to work again.
How much it really factors into Harden's dedication and his, willingness to actually play championship level basketball, which you could argue that he never really has. He's put up points and he's been an incredible player, an incredible scorer, but every time he's been in the playoffs, he's been awful. And I'm not sure that any of this changes any of that for him as a player. I understand why you do it if you're Philadelphia. Also, it's impressive that they got this done because it looked like this was going to end up being a summer thing. Because James Harden's been sabotaging his season. He's dealing with the longest hamstring injury in the history of hamstring injuries.
Been some great
moves. And I'm sure Daryl was in his ear or his agent's ear being like, hey, sit out. Hey, look like you're miserable on the sideline every time the camera cuts to you. And he's like, okay, I got you. And he's like, okay, therefore we are creating fabricated leverage because ultimately they didn't really have any leverage except for the fact that Brooklyn has completely come off the rails in the whole Kyrie situation. And then Kevin's been out for a few weeks and is probably going to be out for a few more weeks. And so, I don't know, all these, it's crazy. The NBA, stars in the NBA, not all of them, but the ones that we've seen on the block today, this is what we get. This is the kind of product. These are the kind of transactions. This is the kind of nonsense, the mess, the dysfunction. This is what we get when we allow them to force themselves in and out of situations that they may or may not deem suitable for themselves or cool enough for themselves or whatever. And it's a weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it. don't like it for a few
I do like Brooklyn as like as far as like cheering purposes. Like I can like
easy to
them
root for.
more
Yeah.
without Harden there now, because it's one less of the three dramatic people. But now you got Ben Simmons, so I don't know if Ben's
Yeah,
gonna,
how
if
much
Ben's gonna
drama
act like
is
Ben. I rescind that. That was jumping the gun.
Except I think
but-
Ben Simmons will be much happier just to be out. of
You would think
Philly.
so, but who knows if
Who
he's going to
knows?
recover from his mental health issues that he's been dealing with. Also, that's such an awful thing to do, to masquerade yourself in mental health issues just
right.
because of the fact that you don't like the situation and the fact that everybody in the media
you.
has been badgering you and just slamming you for the past, whatever it's been, 10 months,
Yeah.
which is all completely warranted. It's all a part of being a professional athlete. And to stay away from your team because of that,
It's a weird move, weird flex.
there's also a difference between, actually dealing with mental health issues and then just not liking your situation and being sad that everybody's, I don't know. I think it was just it was a card that was pulled by he and Rich Paul and Clutch, and I think it was in bad taste.
That's fair.
And I don't know that for certain, but by the optics
By the
and
feel.
by what we know of the player,
I love going by feel too. Yep, I like it.
Cool.
Clippers landed Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye.
Yeah, former Celtic.
Leahy?
Yeah. Semi Ojeleye.
Ojeleye. Okay, I was right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And is Rodney Hood playing well? I know when he moved on from Portland, right? He was with Portland.
He hasn't been good in a few years. They did
He's
get
the lefty though, isn't he? Is
I
he
believe
the lefty?
so, yeah.
The kind of 3-point specialist.
Yeah.
And I think because Portland was pretty upset when they moved on from him.
Well, so the Clippers also got Robert Covington and was it Larry Nance from Portland? Yeah, Robert Covington and Larry Nance, who are both very serviceable role players. So, if Kawhi and Paul were to come back next year and were actually healthy and they had this supporting cast, that's a very good team again. Yeah.
And I think they're below the tax line as well, oddly enough.
Shouldn't matter.
Clippers then traded Serge Ibaka to the Bucks.
That's actually huge for the Bucks, especially with Brook Lopez being out all season.
Yeah.
Because their front court depth has been decimated. So that's pretty big.
Nate McMillan didn't confirm that the Hawks were not going to make any moves. The
Awesome.
Bucks got 2 second-round picks in that big trade that included the Clips.
Yep.
And this is another big deal, or as far as size goes. Raptors got Thad Young, Drew Eubanks, 2022 second-round pick from the Pistons. Spurs get Dragic, Toronto's first-round pick, protected in the first. So they get all sorts of picks. There's a lot of picks being moved around, as usual. That Dragic was the trade for Thad Young. Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles headed to the Kings. Kings made a ton of moves.
Yeah.
Sabonis had an awesome start to his.
It was nice. It was nice to enjoy him and his career while it lasted. Goodbye, Sabonis.
He'll
Sorry.
still be good. His individual career.
He's gonna
will
be good, but he's screwed.
Kings suck.
He's
Kings are
screwed.
so bad. That does really suck. Did you
Yeah.
see that poster that someone had right behind like the TV broadcast?
Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah.
Domus. Yeah. Really though, that's
know.
exactly what it is. Unfortunately.
Poor guy.
Pistons acquired Marvin Bagley the third.
Thank God.
Kings received Dante DiVincenzo from Milwaukee.
I wanted Dante.
Sorry, dude.
It's okay.
God, there was so much that happened. Not even just today, but just
I know.
the-
Yeah.
It was a very.
There was the McCollum trade. New Orleans
CJ
picking him
McCollum
up.
leaving, I think, was probably what they had to do. I don't know if I loved what they got, and I don't know if I love what their strategy is because they didn't do anything really. Still,
They got movable pieces. They got
Right, but they didn't
seeming
move anybody.
assets. No, I know. Yeah, but this is going to be going into the offseason.
I bet Dame
this
is
is not for this season because Dame's not going to play the rest of the season anyway.
that's fair.
So this is just a punting season, and
That's fair.
they're doing what they can. It's not much, but I understand what
but it's
they're doing.
honest work.
It's honest work. That's right.
Let's see here. Warriors didn't really do much, at least today, I should say. Joe Ingles got traded to the Blazers, but he's just going to be released at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because he's out, and that doesn't really matter. What's up?
I can't remember if you said it. Did you see that Boston Celtics are trading Josh Richardson to San Antonio for Derek White? I don't know if you said that.
That
or
was
not.
the guard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Is that what you just sent me?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I couldn't remember if you had said it or not, and it just like popped up.
You
and
saw
I
it and you're
was
like, we should make sure we talk about that.
It is so hot in here.
it is.
God.
I think that's about it
Uncomfortable.
for the trade deadline days, or trade deadline day moves.
I mean, the Kings gave Halliburton
Oh, right.
for basically nothing. I mean, Sabonis is the better player at this point in his career, but Halliburton, it's
A lot of upside.
a lot of upside, but he's also a point guard that doesn't really exist in the NBA today. And so the fact that he is a rarity with his skill set and his approach to the game at that position, giving that away, that's tough.
That is tough.
That's tough.
That is tough. All right. Was that good?
That
feel
was
fulfilled?
that. Yeah.
You feel very much fulfilled?
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to jabronis.
Okay.
You're up.
LeBron, you're back.
Hey, welcome back to the show. LBJ.
LBJ.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
I mean, you could say there are a myriad of reasons that he could be a jabroni, just is like always the case. But he did this the other night, which was really strange.
He was a little bit woozy. Not playing
Okay,
here.
so got hit in the head.
Little
You
drop
gotta
right
check your
there.
eye. Go sit on 2 people. Just emote a little bit longer. Oh, you're good. Stand up.
The drop right there.
In the caption, I saw this video on Twitter, and the guy just said, "What the actual fuck is wrong with this man?" It is a fair question. Like, what was that? What was that?
LeBron. I hate.
He's so bad.
That is one soft.
So
if any player did that ever, that's soft. 2, what is the purpose of like oversaturating your feelings and like falling into the stands and like sitting there and like you're in people's laps and God, that looked brutal. That was brutal to watch. That was like a poor.
It was very uncomfortable.
That's like a D-rated movie type acting.
Yeah.
Something that I could do.
yeah.
Something I don't turn movies off very often. I probably only done it like twice in my life. That's a movie I would turn off right then and there. Like this is the sort of acting we have to deal with. That was bad. I did not see that. Thanks. That makes me upset.
You're welcome.
He was a little bit
I have 2
woozy.
jabronis.
Not
One is
playing
Richard
here.
Sherman,
Right on the drop right
and
there.
one is Ryan Clark. Yeah, we're gonna have to play that later. That's pretty funny stuff. That's really funny. Both of which attacked Seattle. Did you see both comments?
Yeah.
Let's start with Ryan Clark. That one will be an easier one to digest.
Because it's not that hot of a
'Cause
take.
it's what? What?
I wanted to tweet at you as soon as you started bitching about it,
There's
but
no way. Let's break this down.
oh my God, let's break it down.
Russell Wilson is not an all-time great QB. Fact. He is not there because his career is still ongoing. He is trending, though, as being, if he wins another Super Bowl,
He won't.
even if he doesn't win another Super Bowl, he is one of the best top 3 quarterbacks of the 2010s, early 2020s. He's not that is correct. He is not an all-time great QB at this moment. And saying he's never going to be in those conversations just is not factual, though. He's a Hall of Famer. He's won the most games, more than any other player through his first 10 years than any other player in NFL history. But you're not even going to consider the fact that he could become an all-time great. It also depends on your definition of all-time great.
Well, that's why I don't think it's that ridiculous of an argument, because if you listen to the entirety of what he was talking about in the context of, okay, you bring this guy to your team if you're New Orleans, if you're Chicago.
Well, that's the next part. Let's move on to the next part then, because this is also part of it. They also said we have to stop putting him in that world that any team that has Russell Wilson can win a Super Bowl.
That is correct.
It's correct, but
is-
it's completely misaligned and a completely worthless take, though. There is no player, no quarterback in the history of this league that you can put on any team and they instantly become Super Bowl contenders.
What are you talking about? We've
Tell me.
seen this twice
Tell
in
me.
the last 5 years.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Tell me. And let me just hear it to make sure that. Say it. Brady
Peyton,
and Peyton.
Brady.
The Broncos were already a playoff team before Manning got there.
Okay.
The Bucs were already a very good playoff team with a guy who threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
They were
Brady just
not
moved
a
on the
very
edge.
good
They
team.
were a good team.
They were not. Jameis Winston didn't
Jameis
take them to the
Winston
playoffs.
because he threw 30 interceptions.
Then you can't call them a playoff team. They didn't make it to the playoffs.
They were a playoff team,
And
but
they weren't a very good
they were
team.
one guy away. You're telling me if Russell Wilson was on the Bucs last year, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
There's not a chance.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that the Broncos wouldn't have won a Super Bowl the year after they lost it to Russell Wilson if Russell Wilson was the quarterback and not Manning?
I think he could, in that situation, he could have. Yes.
He could have won it with both.
Eh.
Are you telling me that if
I don't
Manning-
think, Arians and Russell, that's a bad pairing.
Okay,
That's
that
a
we're not
bad
looking
pairing.
at the coaching
Well,
aspects. We're looking at this
fucking
in
making this assumption that you have to consider all the different factors and how they would align with each other based on the different
no,
pieces.
you're looking
that you
at
have
just
in
with
place.
at the team as far as their pieces. They would work just fine.
He is right about Russell Wilson being acquired by anybody. That does not make that.
Nobody does. There's not a player in the history of this league that would ever fit that category, ever.
We'll see with Rodgers. We'll see.
Rodgers is going to go to the Broncos, and the Broncos are already a decent team. It's the
actually
exact
think
same situation.
I actually think he's going to stay in Green Bay.
But even if he does go to the Broncos are already a good team.
Yeah. You make a fair point. I understand what you're saying.
Perfect. That's all I need to hear.
I understand what you're
Next
saying.
topic. That's all I needed. All right. The Sherman one actually bothers me because I have a decent and throughout his career, I've liked Sherm. He's abrasive. When he's on your team, you like him more, of course. But he's never really attacked Seattle or its fans. He's attacked Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, pretty much everybody on the team other than the defensive guys, essentially. But he's never attacked the fans, and he's never attacked just the foundation of the Seattle Seahawks. So I don't care about the whole Achilles rehab thing. So Seattle fans are going to hate to hear this because it's just they hate accountability these days.
I don't know what that means, especially as a fan.
It's horrible the way that he worded it. But essentially, I think he's saying Seattle fans do not hold Seattle sports accountable, and that's incorrect. That is so incorrect.
Has he been on Seahawks Twitter?
What did you say?
Seahawks Twitter.
Oh.
I mean, as far as like every individual
Yes,
fan
exactly.
base's Twitter, spaces. The Seahawks hate their team
Oh,
more
they're so
than
pissed. Oh, they've been
we're
pissed
all
all
the
year.
time.
They're always
look at
mad.
me. Yeah.
Right.
I'm a prime
They're
example.
always complaining about something. Then they talked about they're probably going to get rid of Bobby. And then you talk about you either leave the hero or you stay just long enough to become the villain. And first off, I hate that take or that saying, whatever. Salk actually.
I just don't think that applies here. It applied to him because they all soured and turned. I mean,
or Earl, same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Cam and Cliff are still in relative good graces with the organization.
Right.
But, yeah, Earl, Rich, and
KJ's still
Michael.
good. KJ's still good. Bennett's not great.
Yeah.
A lot of the
he's
others
been back to wave the flag, so with the group.
I know. I hate that was the guy who raised it when I was there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
These fans had never won anything before we got here. Now they're talking about like they're on this special pedestal of all-time greats, which they are, but they're making it sound like Seattle sports are nothing without them, which is super frustrating. And it's fair to say, but you don't say that.
Yeah.
When you say it, it just sounds horrible.
Well, it's because he's obviously still salty. He's
he's
not
for sure
over
salty.
whatever. I mean, there is still a
Which is
lot of
super
resentment
weird.
and contempt there on his half.
We treated him so well.
Yeah, but you understand that that's how Richard has been his whole life
Oh, yeah.
with everything. This is not just like a Seahawks stint exclusive thing. I mean, this
Right.
is how he harbors his emotions, and he definitely holds grudges.
And you know what's really interesting? You're right, but you look at the old Sherm, and he goes on to talk about if you cut Bobby, you're in rebuilding mode. You can't cut one of the best linebackers in the league. And I actually kind of agree with that. But then it's like,
Yeah, I do too.
You look at the stats and you look at the performance. He should probably be kind of getting replaced because Sherman was all on Darrelle Revis when he first started, when Darrelle Revis was on his way out. And it's the exact same situation where you're living off the past performances, assuming that those are going to continue into the future when that's not the case. So I thought that was bad. He talks about how they spoiled us. You thought that you were going to have the LOB 2.0, and then you realized you were once in a generation talent. You should never let Russ cook. Which I also partially agree with. It was super weird. It was just random. Like he hops on Avril's podcast and starts just blasting Seattle. And it's like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Nothing. There's nothing positive comes from this. Literally nothing. You're not making other fans happy. You're just pissing off Seattle. And you're making other teams look at you like, geez, well, you're pretty aggressive about thinking.
Okay, well, there's his motive. I mean, it was an attack. It was an attack. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly, he did exactly what he wanted to do.
Right. And there was a few times where Cliff agreed with him, and I don't think he meant to like
He was also put in a weird position, especially as the
super weird
host,
position.
and then he's also still friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Richard Sherman, God, I still love me some Sherm watching everything. And
I just want to get to the day to where it's all water under the bridge and we could just like move on.
Carroll was wanting to move on the entire time. Like when he went through his entire DUI, bang on his father-in-law's door. Like,
Yeah.
Carroll was the first one who came out and supported him and said, Sherman's, great guy, probably going through some
Well, I
rough
know,
stuff.
but
If
that
he ever
doesn't-
needs someone to talk to.
That doesn't mean anything to Sherman because that's the kind of
Oh,
guy that
you're right.
Carroll. No, I'm serious. Yeah,
No, you're right. I completely agree, but it's crazy that Sherman hasn't, for how smart he is and for the amount of people around him that are really intelligent. Doug Baldwin, lifelong friend, teammate.
Mhm.
It's weird that someone hasn't been able to same with Earl, hasn't been able to step in and corral that a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially at this point in his life and in his career where you would think he would be a little bit more mature about it. Obviously not. Obviously not.
Yeah. I know.
All right,
Too
this day in
bad.
sports history, 1920, baseball outlaws all pitches involving tampering with the ball. We saw how that worked out. That didn't last for too long. 1924, Bucky Harris at 27 becomes the youngest manager of a baseball team. 27. Could you imagine managing a baseball
No,
team next
no,
year?
no, not at
2
all.
years? That's ridiculous. In 1996, an IBM computer, Deep Blue, becomes the first computer to win a game of chess against a reigning human chess champion. Look how far computers have come since 96.
Too far.
A little freaky, actually, when you
Yep.
think about it. 2018, Tottenham edges Arsenal 1-0 at Wembley in front of a Premier League record single-game attendance, 83,222 fans.
Damn.
That's
Damn.
ridiculous. And you wonder why people get trampled at some of these soccer games.
Yeah. No kidding.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
All right, closing time.
I got a video. It's not exactly sports related. It's like sports bar related. I've never actually done one of these things before. Not gonna lie,
Curious.
your boy here's got bitch ass wrists. I got sharp. Like if I were ever to punch somebody in the face, it would hurt them a lot, but it would shatter my hand, no doubt. Like I got bony knuckles. And anyway, so
You got them bony knucks.
Bony Knucks. Heard it here first. And so, the guy that produces the Bill Simmons podcast and the Ryan Russillo podcast at The Ringer, his name is Kyle Crichton. He's 6'5". He's a drunk. He's awesome. He rips heaters. And so there's a video of him punching one of these things, ripping the cig. Good stuff, getting the form. You got the belly. You gotta make sure you get that out of there. Boom. And I actually, relatively, I don't know what like a good number is, but he was satisfied with 734 because he says that's more.
We must have had a bad
And
one.
so, have you ever done that?
No, I've seen it. They're always all beat up so bad that I think if you punched it, like you would hurt, and a lot of people would hurt their hand.
Okay, fair.
Um,
That's kind of it. It was just, I've never really done it before.
I've never done it.
I more so don't want to be disappointed with the result.
Right.
I'd rather
You see everyone else around
I'd
you?
rather just not know the answer to that question for myself.
Well, it's like when you go to a baseball game and you see a fashion throw baseball, and you're
right.
like, oh,
yeah.
all right. I thought it was a little bit
depressing.
faster than that. And then some 16-year-old, baseball player just comes and
To put that
pipes one
score
down.
that he had in some kind of context on a similar machine, McGregor scored a 932.
Oh, wow. Okay. So quite the disparity there, but you would still think that McGregor
Could you go?
trained his whole life versus,
Can you go higher than 999 though? Was there a fourth
An
spot?
ex-professional midweight boxer. It doesn't say who he is. It's an anonymous on some forum thing. Said he hit 999. Yeah.
So I guess you have to also take into account it is an arcade game. It could just be complete BS.
100%.
But still, at least he was happy with it.
Yeah.
He probably won't remember it the next day, but at least he was happy in the moment.
I don't know. I think he'd be like 12 deep and still have
Still
some
kicking?
Yeah, some fog.
Yeah, that happens.
Also, the average person's force of punch in terms of PSI is between 120 and 170 PSI.
So the real question is that what that is measured?
Yeah, right.
I think that's strictly just like a weird
I
score.
think the other thing you have to realize too when it comes to like boxing and other professional fighters is they can produce so much more force without having to go like that to do
I mean,
it.
yeah, they got lower
Like they
body.
literally just go like that.
or
and it's the
or
exact
that
same.
too, yeah.
And so I think that's another thing to kind of imagine, like when McGregor gets a 9, whatever. That he can do that, but he'll kill you with a 5-inch windup compared to a 2-foot.
Right.
All right, my closing time is just asking people what their plans are for the Super Bowl. Curious what's going on this weekend.
I'm debating whether I want to watch it with my mom, who's been a great hang recently. Shout out Tracy. Good times.
Yo, shout out Tracy for real, man. Great hang.
Great
She's a
hang.
good time.
Yeah. No, and she's like her, especially since my dad's passed, like her commitment to sports knowledge, like she's got all the NBA teams
Wow,
down. We're
that's
making our
That's
way
impressive.
to the MLB. Yeah, NBA's, they got some obscure places
that's
and
tough.
franchises.
Yeah.
Anyway, or if I want to do it with my lame friends that don't really like sports, and then they'll probably invite people over that I don't like. I'm very selective with people that I hang out with. Yeah, those are my two options. So neither are terribly exciting, but that's what I got on the table.
I'm not really sure. Girlfriend's family
Well, you just got
never really
reminded.
watched Super Bowl. What?
You just got like reminded by me this morning, like, oh, that's right, Super Bowl is this weekend.
Yeah, I kind of forgot it was this weekend as well. They didn't really watch Super Bowl or much. I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Because you're an American.
Yeah, I'm an American. I bleed red.
Just red?
Just red.
What about white and blue? You call
If
me?
you're bleeding white and blue, you got some problems. I don't know. I'll enjoy it. I just want Cincinnati to win.
Yeah,
What's up, Connor? Toss him the mic.
Hold on.
Mike Toss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably just gonna go up to. I'm going up to Eastern this weekend actually to watch it with some friends. Then we're gonna get a little ripped. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna watch Cincinnati
Alright.
win. It's gonna be a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
Get a little
Hell yeah.
rip,
There you
baby.
go.
Ripped.
There you go. Yeah, I'll
Oh yeah, beer.
Hey,
will
sorry, yeah, what
probably
are
be
you doing?
consumed.
I'll be at a Super Bowl party with some friends.
See, people that go to Super Bowl parties don't actually care about the game.
Well,
It's got to be 4 people
it
and
depends
under.
on the Super
No,
Bowl.
okay.
I agree with. I say 4 to 6 and under.
I don't buy that.
I say 4 is max. The thing is, even if you go in with the best intentions, you're not going to get the purest viewing experience.
Oh,
I think if you're going, if you got like 7 and up people, at
We'll
that
have
point
more.
it's just a drinking.
It's a
party.
social.
We'll probably
that happens to have a
there'll
football game.
probably
in the
be like
background.
20 people.
No,
Oh,
because
yeah,
other
that's
people,
just a
if they're
party.
not as invested or dedicated as you are, it inevitably turns into just like, oh, we're going to comment on the commercials. Oh, guess what's coming next? Oh, here's the Super Bowl halftime show.
So-
It's going to be everything except the game.
What was kind of nice last year at the Super Bowl party I went to, we had a TV in the basement and a TV upstairs, and it kind of filtered where people who cared more about the game went downstairs, and the people who were just hanging out were upstairs, which was kind of cool.
That works out well.
yeah,
really
that's
well.
nice.
But yeah, this one won't be quite like that. We might have a TV in the other room. I don't know how it's gonna be set up, but we're doing. Have you ever played Squares for the Super Bowl?
No.
It was pretty fun. The way that we did it last year is, yeah, you have 1 through 9, 1 through 9. It's randomized numbers. Before you put the numbers on, though, it's $1 a square, and everyone puts their name. So there's $80 essentially to play for, 80, 82, 81, and you put your name just randomly, and then the numbers get randomized, and then that digit is like the score. So essentially, if there's a field goal kick, then it's 0-3. Then the person who was 0-3 gets $5 or whatever it ends up being. And it's all randomized.
That's
so it's
actually
just
kind
kinda
of cool.
fun. That's a good time.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then the same thing, if it's 21-20, then it's 0-1, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Good time. We'll be doing that. It's going to be a taco bar.
Nice.
It'll be shredded pork, shredded chicken, and beef.
Man,
Ground beef.
I'm going to try to get B-dubs, but that's probably going to be a pain in the ass that day.
You can probably order it like early. Like
Yeah.
The day before even.
They
Just have it
might
ready
do
to be picked
pre-order
up.
stuff for Super Bowl.
I had B-dubs a couple weeks ago for the first time in a long time.
How was it?
Good.
Yeah.
Not as good as
Their
eating it
chicken's
there.
not the best. Their sauces are good. Their chicken's not the best, but
You know what fast food chicken I love? Wingstop chicken.
Really?
oh, interesting. See, I would go B-dubs over
What about Flamin'
Wingstop.
Joe's?
Flamin' Joe's slaps. Flamin' Joe's is really
I haven't
good.
had that, but I've wanted to.
Flamin' Joe's is
weekend.
very, very good.
Where does your mom live? Southville? Is that where?
No, kind of like out by Cheney, but not.
Oh, it's that way?
Yeah.
That sucks because Flamin' Joe's
Can
in
I
the
get
valley north side.
her exact address, please? That'd be great. So
Yeah, I
can
got you. After the show.
Okay, cool.
Just follow him home. All right, Super Bowl weekend, best time of the year.
No, it's not.
Okay, I
Dude,
should rephrase that.
mid-February
Sorry,
sucks.
the biggest sporting event of the year is how I should have phrased that.
Booyah.
That's true. I do love me some Final Four.
Any takers, just real quick, what's the worst month of the year?
Honestly, February
February's
might
up
be up there.
Yeah, mine are January and February.
March isn't because of college basketball.
And because spring kind of
It's
starts
right around
showing
the
its
corner.
ass.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it might be February because January you're still kind of like, it's winter.
You ever
but
wonder
then
why there are
February
only
hits.
28 days? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
get
know.
us out of this month already.
I'll
God
take
And it's
that.
got
damn
that
it.
sneaky R right there, so it's February. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
who are you
yeah.
trying to fool? Like, I get it. You want to be
Yeah,
your
you
own
fool a
thing
lot of
and
people, yeah.
differentiate yourself from the rest of the months, but dude, you just suck. But it's been really nice weather lately, so it's kind of been like a pseudo March.
It's super nice out right now. It's sunny.
It
I
is
think it's
sweltering
like 50s.
in here. Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
know.
so hot in here.
God
All right, that's why we
damn.
need to end the show right now because
Yep.
I need to go outside.
And I gotta pee.
All right.
Okay,
Happy
bye.
Super Bowl weekend. We will see you next Thursday and same time, noon-ish, whenever we decide to do it. Have a
That's 3 o'clock Eastern.
what was? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Was that a sneeze?
No, there's just
Don't question me.
Mr. McBride.
That was loud. That kind of
Man.
scared me. All right.
Mr.
Have a nice
McBride.
weekend. See you next week. See you later.